lot of win percentage comes from South America for Tiny, where they
sure.
really know how to play it during the major. It's always been like, I don't know, in the past 3-4 years, they just always use Tiny as the 4. It's like, yeah, we can play it on a lane, but if we want, like, we can just shift it towards position 4, still gonna do good. They just, like, know the limits of the hero compared to some, like, other regions, how they use it.
Also, I think the good thing for OG is they're not going to be the type of team where if gladiators start doing some of their lane shenanigans, they're just going to sit in lane and farm. I don't think they're going to also chase them around the map and do these things. Anyways, bans-wise, okay, pick up the Zeus as well.
It's ton of magic damage on their side. Zeus, Tiny, like Viper using Viper Strike plus 2 spells from Zeus can pretty much kill any of the heroes in the mid game. So gotta be very careful about that. Like Enchantress only provides sustain in the laning stage. Dawnbreaker like also wants to be able to get multiple spells off in a team fight. What are you laughing about, Sheever?
I
It's
love
the light,
the mug.
like
the go vegan.
No, I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
the mug. I actually do it because it's, first of all, it's a big mug. Everybody loves
Yeah.
big mugs, and I like it.
Cool.
Nice.
For OG, the Zeus pickup, like of course mentioned, a lot of damage, and drafting-wise, right, they're just keeping it a little bit open. This Zeus Tiny, their second pick, they'll have last pick in the draft. They're going to be able to decide who's the 4, who's the mid, into the very end. Even the Tiny being carried. So yeah, just pretty much not showing anything, but making sure they have just strong pairings. Like if it is a support Tiny and a mid Zeus, this Tiny goes in, the lack of damage he might find 50 minutes, 20 minutes into the game, the Zeus will naturally cover with an Ags or an ult. So even though the heroes are interchangeable, even no matter what roles they go in, they're going to still complement each other really nicely in that skirmishing pick-off style. Not a lot of team fight coming out from OG right now. Compared to gladiators that they pick up the puck. If it's Zeus mid now, Zeus isn't going to have too much fun against this puck. Anything that jumps you is going to be pretty disruptive.
I mean, we just saw the win rate of puck, 80%. That's insane.
It's pretty wild. They don't have that reliable stun for puck, so they will need to have something. They go with Enigma.
Don't forget, right? This is an Enigma that has a 30% win rate in 10 games.
Yikes.
And it's still very contested. Like if on our graphic, it was 6th in contest. But again, it's got a very low win rate compared to everyone else in like the top 10 for contest. They're all like 50, 60% give or take.
Who plays it? Is it Tofu that play it? Is it Ace?
I feel like this is the gladiators where it'll be like some Ace, solo safe lane Enigma because they're Radiant. So you just park them in the Radiant safe lane. It's pretty safe to play that map. And then you have like Ench, Dawn,
That's
plus
why
an
it's called
aggressive
safe
4.
lane.
Exactly. And then you go fight in the Radiant off lane, making the Dire safe lane not safe.
I would love to see some stun pickup. Been thinking about the just Dragonite because this hero can be also played in the safe lane. I don't think you care too much about harassment coming on from Enigma. It's mostly physical damage. Or if they want to get something with a bit more AoE, just get Medusa, I'd say. Get a little bit more team fight. Great against Enigma. You're always going to have something from your carry that can cancel the black hole with the BKB.
Indicator of some Viper 5, Tiny still getting flexed, and yeah, Slaughter in the offlane or something. A lot of emphasis on just being annoying in lanes. They've got a lot of lane-orientated heroes right now.
Yeah, you still don't know where any of these heroes are going. Like Slaughter, I don't think you can play this hero other than offlane. Maybe you can throw it in as a position 1, but doesn't sound that good. So I think what you said, Viper 5, Slaughter as an offlane, and then they need to like figure out what's the better matchup for Zeus. Is it going to be mid lane, or if they want to put him on position 4?
I'm just picturing some scenario where gladiators, they put this Enigma solo safe lane. OG go, all right, Amar, just play the offlane Slaughter into the Enigma, and then just do whatever. And then you have this scenario where it's like a Viper Tiny plus carry safe lane fighting into some Ench Dawn +1. Like, I don't know. I feel like this could easily become some really janky lanes and some weird fighting.
And there's a Dragonite that we mentioned, just to be able to lock them down like Slaughter. Okay, so this is definitely offlane Slaughter, no doubt about it. They're banning out the one of the lane heroes that are very good against Slaughter. If they want to ban another one, I think like Drow Ranger is really good because there's a potential that OG is preparing for Medusa. They need to have someone who deals right-click damage, something that synergizes well with Slardar. And it's also a good matchup for Drow Ranger. That's why I mentioned it.
I mean, for Gladiator as well, I feel like they kind of shift the Dawnbreaker to 4 now, so you have Ench Dawn that can run around and kill everything, and then you pick up a carry that can just farm behind how aggressive the first 3 picks on Gladiators are. Hence why, like, I think even for Gladiators, like I guess Zeus is there, like the Medusa, they just go Tusk. Okay, they're just doing Dawn carry. All right, very aggressive, and they have heroes. They all at some stage of the fight will happily be in the middle of it, so it will give this carry Dawn entry to most of these engagements.
It still looks like they're gonna maybe lack a little bit of damage to take down OG though. OG looks very sturdy other than the Zeus.
Dawn does a lot of damage once you get to like Desolator.
Okay.
I'm not too worried about OG's damage. They do.
No, the other way around.
Oh, the other way around. Puck takes care of that. Like Enigma lacks a little bit of damage until he gets the items. Dawnbreaker. Dawnbreaker does damage, like it's having this global presence as well, and it's like kind of guaranteed ulti where you're gonna land when you have a black hole and puck. Even shards from Tusk is gonna be enough for Dawnbreaker ulti to kick in. Okay, going with the bristleback.
So it's mid-tiny. The support duo of Viper Zeus. The year is 2022. I think for OG, it's just gonna be this: you play your lanes, you're super annoying in them. And once you get to a couple items, Uragi's going to lead the charge. You get a pick off outside Roshan, you get that Aegis, and you just try and punish Enigma. The reason why Enigma's had a low win rate so far, since the major, is teams are being way more aggressive against it. They're not allowing this hero to find time. So, yeah, it's a lot of fight from OG. But if Gladiators get their correct lanes and get to stall out the game once again, where they have Ace farming by himself, they're fighting with the other 3 heroes. And
what's the correct laning setup?
I mean, there's always possibility that we mentioned that this Enigma can go to safe lane, and you have an aggressive tri-lane with the Enchantress, plus a Tusk. You get the value from the tag team a lot more. One of the like better heroes to have in a tri-lane. Usually, like Tusks don't get it early on, since like this patch and the previous one, you go mostly for the shards and the snowball instead. But in this lane, you should probably get it if this is a tri-lane. Yeah. And this is 5 Zeus, 4 Viper this time around. There was one game where OG already ran position 4 Viper, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if this was this tour or the previous one.
I think previous.
But yeah, previous. I like what the OG's got. I think this this bristleback can easily pop off. It gives them this momentum. Roche taking potential synergizes nicely with Slardar as well. Like the damage from Quells is gonna be through the roof.
It's just annoying. Like you look at OG's heroes, you're like, ugh. Like if this was a pub, like what am I playing?
They also have no cooldowns whatsoever, and I think that's what's gonna be punished because Gaming Gladiators, they have 2 or 3.
Okay, well let's find out what's gonna happen in the first game of this best of 3 series. We're heading over to ODPixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Steven. Yes, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for OG versus GG. I'm ODPixel here with Fogged. We've just had the lineups come in. Fogged, what's sort of standing out to you here? I mean, we're seeing some exciting stuff. I feel. Well, from OG, it's you know, if you go, you know, look at other games, it's kind of like a 5-core lineup here.
It is. It's a very fast-paced draft with like no cooldowns versus a lineup that does have a little bit more cooldown reliance, right? The Puck, the Enigma, the Dawnbreaker does feel like they could be a little bit slower at sometimes, and it feels like OG's is just about brawl, 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 which I mean does seem like a good plan for the way that they play usually. However, it does feel like they could take maybe a time where after laning phase they might need to wait a little bit in order to get the blinks online, in particular onto the Tiny, so that they can actually have setup, because they do have a Zeus and Viper support. So that can sometimes make it a little bit awkward depending on how the lanes go. And important to say, yeah, let's see how these lanes will go. How is Gaming Gladiators going to position their lanes? Because as we've seen them do, it's a bit of a...
Look how he walks. Why is he walking?
He has the tree, right?
Oh, is it just invisible?
It is invisible.
An invisible tree?
Oh, wait. Yeah, it's invisible on my screen, too.
30 seconds to battle.
Oh.
The tech.
The rare
noted.
Invisible tree? I wonder if it's something with the set or maybe just how the game's loaded.
It's got to be the Frostmoot tree, right?
Do you think it's something to do with the set?
I like this set, too. This is my favorite Tiny set, the little Christmas tree. It's a good one. Any other fun sets, actually? We got a new chest set. Anyone rocking anything? We got the Taiga doesn't have the fat Viper. He's fat. Like he's the
new Viper.
He has a big belly.
Yeah,
it's
new
funny.
one. Yeah.
Okay,
I
let's
mean,
see.
and also, why do you think OG in their draft decided, you know, that they did want to just put the Viper as the support and get Amar on the Slardar this game? Because no, we're not seeing a lot of Slardar, and obviously Amar very, very strong on the Viper off lane. So why do you think the change up there to try and get a Slardar in this game?
He probably likes the matchup if he sees that it's going to be a Dawnbreaker carry.
Yep.
And they probably knew immediately that that's going to be Dyrachyo playing it. So playing Slardar versus most melee carries can be quite nice. And versus Dawnbreaker, you have two different ways to cancel the Starbreaker in lane, right? If you can prime your bash or you just use a Slither Crush, you can have a decent chance of it. And yeah, I'm curious to see how the lanes are going to be set up
This
because
is so fun, BCM. Is it?
it's got to be the set.
Is this going to stay like this the whole game?
Well,
Because like low-key,
we'll
that's
see.
actually kind of bad, isn't it? I mean, how are you supposed to see these trees that he's throwing at you?
Well, let's see if the tree throw is revealed.
Yeah.
But I mean, that does look quite goofy.
Yeah, that...
And musical lanes already.
Well, okay, you at least still see it when it's thrown.
Okay.
Otherwise, that would have actually been pretty bad.
So as we expected, you know, musical lanes. This is all what Gaming Gladiators is about. They love to get the proper lane setup. So you see Dawnbreaker's trying to dodge the Viper Slardar. That is a disgusting lane, gotta be honest. Covers all bases, Viper Slardar. It's all, like, one's all magic damage, one's all physical too, so they're gonna try to put the Enigma down there to take the brunt of the pressure.
And have you sort of been liking this carry Dawnbreaker that we've
Yes.
seen, of course, GG try before, and, you know, just the hero in this position? You think it's got potential?
Yeah, I like it a lot, actually. This mid and this
Yep.
carried position, it feels really cool. The items that you're able to get, and just the buff, of course, in Luminosity. It's crazy. Like, you hit 15, you have max Luminosity, and you are... It's better than Jug Crit, in a way. It actually is an absurd amount of damage.
Gonna get aggressive onto Uragi here. It's gonna be good damage with the impetus as well.
He's
Uragi.
looking pretty dead,
It's
actually.
a lot of Quill Spray stacks, though. But with the three of them surrounding him and one final impetus hit from Celery, it will indeed be first blood for Gaming Gladiators.
And we do get that aggro tri-lane, but oh my goodness, mid lane!
He gets the solo. We got to get that up on the replay there. BZM getting a solo mid. It'll be a little disappointed, of course, it didn't happen sooner and get the first blood, but still overall, getting a first blood, Tiny versus, well, sorry, a solo kill, Tiny versus Puck. He's going to be happy with that one, BZM.
It's incredible what it sets up for the whole entire game, pretty much, actually. Once you get a level advantage as a Tiny versus Puck, like, you can always get these solo kills. As Misha, he'll go down. The aggro tri-lane, Panel mentioned it's a high possibility. We kind of expected
Let's
it too.
check this out here. Okay, this is going to be a... Oh, yeah, he's just in with the toss. And the final punch. Just not able to get far enough away there, Boom.
Pushing the limits with this skill build. Going for the full aggression rather than having phase shift. All right. I mean, that is a very good start, of course, for OG. And now they're even bringing the tri-lane to battle. They're going to send the Viper top to deal with this Dawn.
I tell you what, in the mid again, Boom nearly died a second time there. He was one hit away once more. He's able to heal himself up with the bottle charges. But BZM is very much getting these opportunities to really threaten Boom's life in the mid matchup.
I think he should queue up the raindrop pretty soon. I think, yeah, he already has, so probably going to buy that right away when he can versus this obnoxious Tiny. But yeah, amazing start already. The Tiny and the Slardar having free farm. Bristleback slightly shut down, but he is in the tri-lane versus tri-lane, so Gaming Gladiators just forces tri-lanes all the time.
I mean, they love to fight top. They're going to try and go for Uragi. They're in with the snowball. Uragi.
Oh!
He's got a lit. Oh, no. Actually ends up going down. Celery was able to get in with that last hit to take him out. They will
Tiger.
lose Tofu in return.
He's got mana. Celery, one more hit.
I mean, Dratch is going to try and... Dratch might be able to get Misha. He's going to run down the Zeus. But
Nope.
Yeah, he has to hold back. Tiger's going to start stacking up the poison on him.
Oh, Viper is so disgusting. He's actually going to... I think he might die. One more hit.
They're out of mana, right? Oh,
One more.
Is that enough? He's kept it up at 5 stacks.
Oh, it's really close. He's okay. All right, let's just look at top lane. This is the fun lane.
So much happening up here.
But just as painful, it's actually probably maybe even worse that he didn't die. He's now sat at 80 HP versus the Bristol and the Viper.
Yeah, that's going to feel bad.
Will struggle to farm. All right, I mean, this is a very heavy battle lane. Tusk, as they said, the kind of king of tri-lanes, but Viper, I feel like, is also one of those king of tri-lanes that trades with pretty much anybody very effectively. Yeah, he has no tree, so it's just going to be a whole thing, by the way. It's going to be for the whole game. The tree's not showing.
Well, it might change when he levels up, right, the ult. You know, that...
Maybe.
Or you don't think so? You think if the tree's not appearing now, it's not appearing now? Because to be fair, the tree itself doesn't change when you level, does it? It's the same cosmetic.
It's probably just not going to be there. So, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
It is. As I say, it is a good job we can see it when he's throwing it. Because if it was an invisible tree being thrown at you, that's actually kind of game-breaking. Top lane. Another kill here for the aggression of Gaming Gladiators.
Nice Wild Wing play. A free farm Slardar, though. This is going to be setting up a really good game for Amar to have a very good timing. As we know, he likes to play very greedy on his Slardar, so he instantly has the Mask of Madness already queued up. He kind of wants to be the carry himself.
Where are you going?
Let's see how much they can get at a top of tag team.
And Tiger's trying to trade with Celery, but Tofu and Dracho, they just jumped straight over onto the Viper. Exactly how you got to deal with the Vipers, right? Just get in the face of them. And of course, with this Tri-Lane Gaming Gladiators, they've very much got the damage to blow up the Viper at this stage.
Anybody, really.
Yep.
Anyone who steps up out of position, they have to be very careful. And they have to save, it feels like they have to save Lightning Bolt for the Starbreaker every time. Misha has to be very careful how he does use it. Otherwise, it's a free setup every time Dyrachyo just walks up and gets it on them. Tag team Starbreaker is no joke. No joke at all. Ace will also have free farm though, so even though there is a Slardar free farming, of course that Enigma is going to have a really good early start to go for that Vlad's, which it does seem to be.
Misha. It's going to be fine. Of course, we'll always have that heavenly jump.
Just checking the runes. Boom.
It's going to be a nice one. A DD.
It's a big one.
Could get some action with this. He'll head over, grab the bounty as well.
He's checking for stacks as well too.
Top lane Misha. Heavenly jump is on cooldown. No escape. Another kill for this top lane. I mean, there you can see already what Dyrachyo is not getting the kills out of this. So, you know, it's ending up going the way of the supports, but 5 assists. They're getting a lot of action out of this top lane.
They'll have 6 really early. Like, they're going to have to watch out for the global threat. He's going to pretty much have it. That's a tri-lane with almost a level 6 Dawnbreaker. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous. They are kind of leaving the lane and giving him a lot of the experience, but still, that might catch OG off guard. And Celery.
Oh, they're in with a lightning bolt.
Another petal falls.
Tofu's moved down to the bottom. They're maybe going to try and see if they can catch Amar by surprise.
I mean, Tofu is dominating this game right now. This Tusk pick is really working out for the early game. This looks a bit deep, maybe.
See how much they want to commit here. They do have Black Hole. And BZM is going to come in with the counterplay. TP's in. Starts to go over towards Tofu. The tree
Amar.
throw, still not quite enough. They're going to drop the Black Hole and they're ready to turn it. They're coming in with the Solar Guardian. There's the follow-up from Dyrachyo. And also the puck, Boom, turning up to make sure they can get the kills out of this one. BZM will go down. Boom was able to catch on the edge of it. You know, the Dream Coil onto Amar. So Amar, he'll be chased out. Good reactions from Gaming Gladiators.
Their early game is always so damn good. I know T was mentioning it on the panel. They're so good about making these quick early rotations, and you can see that OG, like, especially Amar was hesitant because he's like, oh god, the threat of Black Hole is there.
Yeah.
He tries to walk in, boom, Black Hole catches one, and then the quick follow-up from Boom, and they even get a tower now. So an excellent pace being set from Gaming Gladiators with that global threat. I'm so surprised how fast this Dawnbreaker's hit level 6. But I think the biggest highlight really is, as Amar pointed out, Tofu on his Tusk. He really is crushing this early game.
Tower is under attack.
3 points in the tag team, something you don't see too often anymore. A lot of the times we are seeing it switched up. More points being put into the ice shards. Of course, Celery, you know, he does have the 5 kills, but you know, the Tusk is the one that's enabling a lot of these big jumps forwards.
Under attack.
And when this sort of, you know, early game action's coming at you, if you're OG, what's sort of the game plan for them here?
They have to just kind of farm. Until the Tiny feels like he can always get involved, they have to farm because Bristleback was shut down in the laning phase, so I think they do just have to kind of chill out a little bit. Because there's just an overwhelming amount of damage with this Tusk and with this Dawnbreaker being so high level. Yeah, just still so surprised. Level 7 Dawnbreaker in an aggro tri-lane. That is just incredibly impressive. And as we mentioned, you know, it's tough to make these aggressive moves on OG because they have Viper and Zeus as their 2 supports, so it's really reliant on the Core's game in order to make anything. As Taiga,
He's looking pretty dead here.
another one.
He's going to have Misha TPing over.
Misha might be in trouble himself too, unless a Core rotates.
I mean, Uragi's trying to step up to this, but again, Gaming Gladiators, they've got the numbers. So not much that can be done to save Misha. Misha goes down and Uragi, he's not got a huge amount of mana to play with. I mean, BZM's watching from the side.
Gaming Gliders is bringing more numbers. Tofu and Boom are here.
Yeah, they're just going to run in from the side, and Reggie with the setup. Dream Coil into the Solar Guardian is going to be able to catch BZM. He's turned with the Avalanche. We'll try and escape this, but Gaming Gladiators, they're more than happy to just constantly bring this brawling action. And OG's lineup, they're just not at a stage where they can deal with this.
No. Tiny having a bit of a rough one, even though he got the first kill in the mid lane, or second kill, I guess, in the mid lane. He's still having a tough time showing up. They're just doing a great job of showing up with these cooldowns. And Amar also.
I mean, just don't stop it from Gaming Gladiators.
I mean,
12 to 4.
Tofu. Look at him. He's beautiful in and out of game.
He's popping off.
Yeah, very impressive stuff so far from the rotations. And he doesn't slow down, right? He kills bottom, immediately starts running to the mid lane, looking for another pressure play. Misha.
Oh, he has got the jump.
Should be okay.
So Tofu knows that he can't commit for this.
But yeah, bottom lane, tower's taken, and now Ace, he can make his way toward top, go for this top tower as well. I think, he has Vlad's already done with Arcane Boots. And Black Hole's gonna be back available. Solar Guardian is on cooldown, but still, something that OG does have to be careful of.
Yeah, OG's going to really try and find something now. They're smoking up. They've had enough of this. They want to try and catch Gaming Gladiators when they're not prepared.
BZM has a power rune as well. He's got the Arcane.
Here we go. In onto Ace. Ace should be pretty dead here. Nothing to be done to save him.
A much needed kill. Able to slow down the pressure a little bit here from Gaming Gladiators. They're going to send the Zeus mid to get some levels.
Tiger.
The Tiger steps up.
He's trying to finish off the creep, but he kind of just gets baited in. Tofu was ready in the trees. And yeah, Tiger really heavily committing to try and bring that Centaur down, but it didn't happen. Down bottom, Dracio's getting got upon by Amar. Oh, he needed one more hit, didn't quite get it. In fact, he's going to turn towards Boom instead. So Dracio, okay.
Oh,
Amar knew that. He knew that Thunder God's Wrath was going to be coming up, so he didn't have to spend extra time chasing down Dracio. And that smart heads-up play there from Amar, not overcommitting unnecessarily, means that they get both kills out of that play.
That was huge. That's a big comeback play for Amar in particular.
Yeah,
The Mask of
nicely
Madness
done.
pays off right away. Also, to point out, he is carrying the Ocean Heart. I think it's always something really important to point out in Slardar. Excuse me, I'm coughing for a second. Yeah, it works with your ultimate, so it's actually really cool. Just you get that little trail, so that counts as a river in particular, so extra regen. Every little thing counts. And yeah, they needed this. They really did.
And talk to me about this. You're talking about the 5 cores, talking about the greed. We're going to have Tiger rushing bots.
He's switching it. No way. Okay, I was going
He
to
had
say
it
no
queued
way.
up. And we saw you, Tiger. He had it queued up.
He's done this before, his Crimson Guard build. I remember him doing it versus a Visage in particular.
Yeah, we see this on some other supports. We saw our Puppy the other day went for a Crimson Guard rush.
Can work. Can work pretty nicely. You're just like this aura carrier in a way. It's greedy, but that's kind of what their whole draft is about.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's just had enough of getting baited in and dying.
Yeah.
He wants to be able to survive.
Things starting to stabilize a little bit for OG, though. The timings, they should have their blink done on the Tiny soon. He gets a DD rune as well. And after the kills bottom for Amar, Mask of Madness was done, and he's also on his way toward a blink dagger, too, which will allow them to be able to respond to these aggressive plays a bit better. Dyrachyo, level 10 with a full Echo Saber. His damage is going to be ridiculous, especially if he is near the Tusk. One more CS, and BZM, he will have blink dagger.
There we go. See what they can do with this reveal.
Will be a lot easier than for, in particular, just to kill Boom, right? The tiny reveal blink dagger with the Zeus ult in particular, it'll just kill the puck from 100 to 0 as Misha.
I mean, Tofu is just hanging around here. Misha has got backup. BZM
Ooh.
goes down the avalanche, and Tofu won't be able to commit for the kill on Misha.
He's got the blink.
Nicely done there, BZM, making sure that as soon as that blinks out, he's getting a kill with it. Keeping the gold even. Very close on the money here. Overall, Draccio still at the top. And of course, it is a game. We stay with the Solar Guardian in play. Always difficult for OG to make moves anywhere outside of the Dawnbreaker, because Draccio, he'll always be ready to turn up, and he's very close to having that level 2 ultimate. Celery.
The little things matter. The raindrop, cloak, fluffy hat. Otherwise, he does die. These little types of extra HP to survive the burst of a Tiny.
He's got the full Glimmer now as well, so
He's armed.
It's going to be even harder to try for that sort of move the next time.
And already now a Wraith Pack done for Ace, so could potentially start kicking up the pace here on Gaming Gladiators.
And there we go. No surprises there. 3 minutes faster than the fastest.
That is very quick.
We have had a few games, as you can see, 3 matches where we've had the Vanguard Viper.
Mid tower, OG doesn't really have the best ways to D-push. The Zeus, he only has Lightning Bolt. He doesn't have Arc Lightning. Their other way of D-push is really just Nether Toxin for now, or taking the fight, so they actually bring the numbers instead of just D-pushing. We'll stop it for now. Amar almost blink. So almost a double blink daggers finished up now for the side of OG.
And at that point, they'll definitely be more ready to fight. Or try and match the level that GG are bringing at them.
It's scary still because it's this 3 melee and very limited ways to stop Black Hole, right? They have Lightning Bolt and Tiny in particular to stop it.
Misha.
Can he get away?
Be the one to tank this gank here. As long as they can keep the rest out of harm's way, they won't mind just losing the Zeus, but looks like they will lose Tiger as well. Trees are cut. Was trying to hide, but they instantly clear them out with the Midnight Pulse, and both supports of OG will be found.
It's so much damage really from Dyrachyo, especially if he's near the Vlad's aura too. Like an extra amount of damage for this Starbreaker combo. They're actually just gonna threaten the Rosh.
All right, I mean it's all being seen underneath the ward, but I think even if Gaming Gladiators knew that was there, they would still go for this. They probably don't feel too scared about what OG's gonna bring to them, because off to the side, I mean Boom, he's already looking for the setup. They'll bring Dyrachyo over with the Solar Guardian in on top of BZM. They'll be able to run from this a little bit. Keeping them sort of interested outside and away from the Roshan, and maybe they can look to turn. They jump in. Got the lockdown onto Boom, not quite enough. Boom out to the side, but he's been ulted up, and Amar's able to chase him down. They take him out. Dyrachyo tries with the TP, but BZM's back in with the Blink Avalanche.
They might be able to get to the Rosh too.
Yeah, now that they've lost the 2 cores in that sort of affair up top, it does mean this area around the pit becomes rather scary for Gaming Gladiators in this 3 versus 5 situation for the next 30 seconds.
And Taiga's, he's pretty tanky actually versus these Eidolons. They still hurt a bit, but now the Rosh is slow. They can just take it themselves.
And with the lineup that they have, they take it pretty good.
They sure do.
So maybe, Gaming Gladiators getting a bit ahead of themselves. They'll see Gaming Gladiators go for a steal. Ace is going to try with a black hole, but it immediately gets stopped by the Avalanche. Tofu will roll in, look for the steal. He won't get it. OG, they've got the Aegis, picked up on Yuragi, and now they've got the cleanup. They'll take out Ace, they'll take out Tofu. Yeah, I mean, the greed did not pay off there from Gaming Gladiators that time round. They tried to go for Rosh at the same time, chasing those kills up top. They didn't get a clean setup onto BZM with Boom and Dyrachyo, and from that point onwards, it was all downhill.
There must have been some type of like miscommunication going. Like Boom making the aggressive play while his team is Roshing. Like, they just get fully punished, OG. And their lineup, we were mentioning they have some difficulties, of course, stopping Black Hole, but BZM wasn't even like in the screen, so he was able to just jump in and get the stop instantly.
Yeah, OG's going to be very, very happy with that one.
Yeah. Now they have pretty ridiculous timings going to be coming out. Yuragi almost has Ags done.
Yeah, smiles all around here from OG.
Their greed now has paid off completely. They weathered the storm a bit of that early game, that early pressure of losing the 3 towers, and now get handed a free Rosh for this Bristleback, who now is going to become a very big problem for them to try to bring down.
Yeah, that's a much bigger swing than the numbers show. Yes. It's just sort of like a 3k gold difference that grew out of that. But if you just sort of consider the momentum that Gaming Gladiators had, that they just let slip away from them,
they might lose Dyrachyo again here too.
He's got to run. Looks like he will get out in time. But very much that, just a little bit of a difference, putting Gaming Gladiators at a point now where they're struggling to fight. Dyrachyo has got the Starbreaker immunity with the shard to get away. Tofu's taken down, they're in with the Dream Coil, so they can punish OG for this dive. They'll take down Amar. Can they deal with Yuragi?
Nope, and he just gets a free 100 gold from the Wraith Pact as well.
One BCM, he's in. He's going to be able to get the toss back onto Ace. They're going to be able to take down the Enigma as well.
He knows how strong he is. Like, look at this. He's just committing even onto high ground as his Bristle. While meanwhile, Taiga's just hitting mid. So they're getting so much out of the map in these last few moments.
Yeah, Tiger's loving it.
Yeah.
With the way that last fight went, he was like, you know what? Boosted travel, they're back on the menu.
First the Crimson Guard,
get
though,
the Crimson,
he knows.
Get the bots. He's going to be happy.
And it is starting to feel like there might be some damage issues on Gaming Gladiators, in particular versus Bristol. Like, Dyrachyo has Ags.
And BZM, he's just straight at them. In on top of the Dyrachyo. Dyrachyo's taken down. He can even look to try and chase for more here with a haste. Boom's got to get out with the illusory orb, but BZM's ready and waiting. Boom tries to outplay him, but of course Yuragi and Misha, they're waiting on the backlines to deal with him. Avalanche is back up. It really does feel like that, Gaming Gladiators, they needed to ride that advantage this game. They let it slip away, and you sort of make that mistake against a team like OG, you're going to get punished very heavily.
Yeah, it really is. Like, they had this perfect early game setup, taking all three lanes pretty much in a way, and then just getting that split move. That was just too much for them to try to go for with their lineup. They had to just full commit onto one thing. Either the Rosh should go for these kills, and yeah, they get punished so heavily. Now it's Misha has a Veil. He almost has his Shard too. I mean, like we said,
they get a massive
it's kind of this like 5-core kind of lineup that OG's gone for and gotten away with it. I mean, Crimson Guard, Vanguard also on the Bristol. Like, how do you actually bring him down? Still has Aegis even for another minute too. So they can just keep sweeping the map. Every time Dyrachyo shows his face, they run directly at him. That's how you limit that global play.
Are scanning.
I mean, Uragi, he's just ready to
There's
die.
the ace.
He's sort of far out here to the side. I mean, I'm amping him up. Misha's getting turned upon the Eidolons. The black hole for what?
Oh, it gets canceled by the avalanche.
We'll find Tiger in the mid. But indeed, you can't help but feel that it's looking rough. It's looking shaky
sure
from
is.
Gaming Gladiators.
And every one of these...
Such a clean start. I mean, as you said,
Yeah.
you know, Gaming Gladiators, they've had some fantastic early game. And this game, not an exception. You know, at the beginning looks smooth, but then one mistake, and OG just are continuing to just make sure they just don't even get the chance to make another mistake, because OG, they're not letting up this lead.
No. And every time that there is one of these like missed ultimates on the side of Gaming Gladiators,
Yep.
it's massive. As we
They
mentioned,
need them.
they are really all about those long cooldowns right now. OG, they don't have to rely on anything. They literally are going to be all about this front forward aggression. All they have is Zeus ulti. Like, that's their longest cooldown. Everyone else has no cooldowns. Aegis is going to be going down in 15. Gaming Gladiators might set up for a move as it times out. 10 seconds.
BZM, it's going to force them to have to start things now. In 5 seconds.
Can they
There's
time
the
it?
backup of Mark. He's in with the crush. He's not going to let them get anywhere close to Uragi. Uragi's going to be able to step out to the side, heal up with that Aegis regeneration. See BZM be the new focus. They'll try and go for the Tiny.
He is deep.
Get him. And the Solar Guardian, BZM's able to dodge it to the side. He's still alive. Finally, he goes down. But it did take an awful lot to bring down the Tiny. And now Gaming Gladiators, if they really got anything more in the tank to take any further kills, I don't think they have. They've got to back off. Uragi just completely untouched, pretty much full HP.
Look at the damage.
A huge amounts of damage with this minus armor and physical coming into play from the two of them, Amar and Uragi. As Gaming Gladiators, they get a couple of kills, but they couldn't quite make the move onto Uragi in time. And now over in the mid, Boom. Also got to be a bit careful.
Just trying to cut these waves, trying to get any farm. He has Blink. He's a bit safer now, but... Whew.
Uragi's just getting completely out of control. 13k net worth.
He's unkillable. He really has hit the point of just being immortal. And he has a whole nother item coming out as well, too. A BKB done. So now even the
And
coil,
for
even the
Amar.
full combo, he can just walk right through it. Same thing for Amar.
Yeah, they've got the two BKBs.
Oh, boy.
I mean, they've just turned this up to 11 here, OG. It very much feels like with these BKBs coming out,
They also are
they
about-
could look for a fight. They're going to be
They're about
ready
to
to
have the
dive
third one.
base.
Like, BZM's about to have one done, too. And now, boom, he showed himself.
He's dead.
He's gone.
It's going to be very, very hard for Gaming Gladiators to regain control of this game.
Triple BKB's done. So all three cores BKB finished up, and yeah, it feels like the damage, especially for the puck, is now just gone. Boom's game,
Celery.
he's gonna get like two-shotted by Bristle. One.
My goodness. Big damage indeed, Uragi. 8, 2, and 10.
Look at the levels also. As we said, you know, OG, they tend to do this a lot of the times, the distribution of farm on their three cores, all 18. So max
Ratio.
warpath, max corrosive
He
haze.
can't clear out the mid-wave. He's just going to dive straight through the BKB. Of course, BKB is not going to do anything against the Bristle and the Slardar.
And on to the next one, BZM, he's kind of baiting them here.
Just go, go, go.
Oh, Oblivion Staff on the floor.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
Jesus.
Oh. Doing a bit of inventory management on the fly there.
BZM's trying to, because he's trying to disassemble, make his BKB, and it
Oh,
just
I
got
get
messed
because he
up.
didn't have the slot, so it dropped us me, yeah.
There we go. Now he's
all
got a
good
moment
now.
to fix it up.
And we go. Unlock
Okay,
combining on the
alright.
axe.
So they gotta unlock the axe now. Okay, there we go.
There we have it. All good.
A game feels actually impossible now for Gaming Gladiators.
That 1 point, it really is looking to be one of those games where there was that one moment that you can pinpoint where it just all fell away from Gaming Gladiators, and that, you know, of course, is just down to the relentless, you know, sort of just going from OG. They knew from that point onwards that with that little bit of a lead, that little bit of a swing, they could just continue to force it. And Gaming Gladiators, since that moment, they've never been able to get anywhere close to having the ability to make the same level of moves they could in the early game.
They're going to be kicking themselves, really, for splitting up the moves and just not having the Dawnbreaker, not having the puck, just playing around that Roche pit. Going for this top play, it really crippled their entire game. As now Celery, very likely to just get brought down here from Amar.
He doesn't want to do it. Oh, he's teasing with it. He's got backup coming in. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, okay, that was a little awkward.
A little bit awkward, but
They
they'll
got
get
him.
the job done.
Yeah, you can feel that Gaming Gladiators just like it's in desperation mode. Like shove out the lanes, grab some creeps, but you can tell that they're like, we don't really know what to do anymore because we can't set up on the cores. They all have BKB, so if we coil them and we go for a Solar Guardian play, they just pop BKB and turn it. The only things they can really do is kill supports, and can they even kill them? Viper, like Taiga.
Taiga's tank.
He's massive. Plate Mail, Perseverance, and a Crimson Guard.
I didn't get his bot stream at the end of the day.
Good. You know what?
He's building smart.
And he's got a Pupil's Gift, too. So all this thing factored in, he's still tanky.
Tries to TP out of the trees, but they'll find him. Misha drops down the lightning bolt. Very much feels like they've just been sort of scattered all over the place here, Gaming Gladiators. They've lost control of the game.
Yeah. Bristol almost with an AC on top of all the minus armor they already have. Heroes are literally going to start getting two-shotted. With the Corrosive Haze, with the max stack Warpath, he actually might even one-shot the supports. Even though Celery has a Solar Crest, it does feel like he's going to be hitting them for over 500 damage.
Yeah.
Duracho, he shows his face for a second. Iragi, he's on the hunt.
Can BKB TP? Or BKB Solar Guardian, that also works.
Ooh. Amar was almost in range, actually had blink.
Actually, yeah, he had to do that as well. His TP was on cooldown still for 15 seconds, so indeed needed to use the ult to escape.
Did save the BKB though. He did use the Starbreaker into it instead, so yeah. Does at least have that for next hit. But it doesn't feel like there's gonna be a fight, right? It does not feel like there's a possibility for them to take any fight after all that's happened. Taiga, he's tanky.
See if they can take him down. He's gonna have backup coming in. Even if they did kill him, it wouldn't have felt good, and they don't even get to kill him. Tiger's more than fine.
AC done.
And Amar. You see him ready to go there. Of course, no fear with the BKB. They're ready to jump, and they'll be ready to dive. OG very much on heroes, and with items that, if they get a kill at the edge of the base of Gaming Gladiators, I won't be surprised if we see them diving tier 4s.
Agreed. They don't even need to, though. Look how fast he kills this tower. 3 more hits or so. We'll have the glyph for a moment, but Duracho, no BKB for 50 seconds. So even if he steps up, he's just going to get tossed back. Has to be so careful with his positioning. I'm not sure what the item that they can wait for is either. That's the problem. It's like Enigma getting close to BKB, so potentially that could be something, but even then, it's like, do they have the damage to even follow up inside of this black hole anymore? I was actually looking at Tofu. I thought maybe he was farming an Aghanims. But he actually's gone for like this blink, so he can't actually go for anything. I actually feel like it is just all relying about like kicking people to tier 4s almost at this point.
It feels like that might be the play, but as you say, he's not got the items for it.
No.
Even if he wants to, it's going to be a long way away. And you can very much feel the impending push from OG. They're going to be able to get themselves another round of the Roshan.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be all theirs.
Hairball online.
Amar, he's not only going to have that AC aura coming in from Yuragi, he's also close to having a moonshot on himself, so the bashes are going to be plentiful.
And he's got level 20 also, so even more minus armor. Nice little 24. I mean, wait, what's the maximum minus armor they can put? So with Goo, you can put 7 stacks, so 20 minus 21, minus 24, minus 45, and then the AC order. So like minus 50 armor or so that they can put onto heroes pretty quickly.
And I mean, and looking at Gaming Gladiators heroes, right? It's not like these are high armor heroes in the first place.
They are squishy.
Duracho.
Couple hits.
He may just be dead.
He is.
He's gone. He has got buyback. Obviously questionable what a second life would even do in this sort of situation. I mean, here we go. Here's the tier 4 diving that we expected to see. They're in, they take down Ace. We very much might see the GGs coming out soon, because this game, it feels completely over.
Oh my god, Celery, 2 hit.
Here's the buybacks. Gaming Gladiators, they'll give it another shot.
Amar's back in.
He's already in on top of him. Duracho, is he able to live? He's not. Taken out.
Over.
There's the GGs. It's called. OG, 28 minutes. They'll get this game won. And again, we've seen it so many times
great
from
camera
OG.
angle.
Just this team, you know, they always give fantastic masterclasses on how to punish a team that messes up, right?
Yep.
I feel like so many times we've seen squads have a bit of a lead against OG. They make kind of one sort of bad move, and that's it. That's it. You're done for. OG, they're going to win the game.
you know, it's one of their voice lines too, right? It's, I don't care, I hit creeps, right? And you look at it all the time, even when they are behind inside a laning phase, even though Gaming Gladiators is making these incredible moves, they are still getting pretty decent farm on the 3 cores.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they find an opportunity.
That's true.
They find that big opportunity, and like you said, they punish mistakes so heavily. And yeah, it was a pretty drastic one, really, for Gaming Gladiators. They gave up a Roche to a Bristleback lineup who gets an Aghanims literally right after it.
Yeah.
Everything just crumbles immediately afterwards. So yeah, Gaming Gladiators, I mean, their draft did look still pretty decent. It just, yeah, it's really all about that one mistake. They can't make that versus OG. When they're going for this type of greedy lineup with this kind of like 5 core, they have to be more careful.
No, absolutely. A classic OG here, really, Andy. The support duo, Misha Zeus and Tiger Viper. It could be definitely coming out again here from these two. Looks very, very good all across the board there. Fantastic KDAs from OG. Yeah, Gaming Gladiators got to step it up a little bit, try and continue, you know, some of that early game domination and make sure they don't let it slip away if they want to have a chance against OG, because OG looking pretty hot here in this game 1. They'll take the first. OG up at right now, 1 game against Gaming Gladiators in this best of 3.
Game 1 of this best of 3 series started out quite good for Gaming Gladiators with their aggressive tri-lane, and their early game always looks pretty decent indeed. and then they try to speak a Roshan. And then there's a couple of cores that are dead, but they try anyway, and they die, and they lose the Aegis, and that basically meant that they lost the game because OG, they only needed one fight to go their way, and then they take the whole game. It was really that simple. I'm joined by Tigov and with Lacoste, and 1 up for OG in this best of 3 series. Was it really only that one fight that cost them the game? You
Pretty
feel?
much. It was the turning point of the game. What I like about OG is them knowing when to farm and them knowing when to fight.
Yeah.
Because you have 2 do-nothing cores, 2 do-nothing supports pretty much, who, like, yeah, you can't gank with those 2 heroes. It's almost impossible, so they understand, like, we need to hit our item timings, and then we can do something. Also, the way this game started is they shut down Puck. By they, I mean BZM, because he got the solo kill on Puck on a mid lane and kind of shutting him down for the rest of the game, not allowing him to snowball. We talked about Puck's win rate being 80%, because the hero just feels really good to play, and they hit their timings. Like Amar, they're using the voice lines, you know, I just hit the creeps, and that's what they do until they get like 1 or 2 big kills and turn that into something even bigger.
Yeah, it's just one of those games where you mentioned already that Amar, he farms bottom. When he sees an opportunity, he then TPs top to kills that he knows he's going to get. And then that alone, we've already mentioned the Roshan. It's a difficult one if you're gaming Gladiators. Like, the start of the game, it felt like...
Crisp, very crisp.
Very crisp, right? They had this tri-lane, there's Enigma, of course, naturally going to do well solo by himself, bottom against a Slada. But once you kind of have your tri-lane fall flat eventually, because you go for a kill and then Slada comes in and stuff, Enigma can't make that type of rotation. You can't bring them out in numbers. So unfortunately, yeah, gaming Gladiators kind of fall flat, give away a Roshan, and this is the draft that we mentioned. You'd get that Aegis, you're going to punish cooldowns relentlessly.
Yep, and you mentioned the offlaners, you mentioned numbers, and we want to look at some offlaner numbers with our player versus player comparisons, because we wanted to compare Enigma versus Slaughter, which are 2, of course, very different, inherently different concepts of heroes. We went for the damage done between the 2. These were the players that were playing 1v1 against each other. The damage numbers are also fairly similar. But it's what would you rather have? A Slardar level 8 with a couple of items or an Enigma level 8 with a couple of items? I'd rather have the Slardar because there's no cooldown. You don't have to wait for one big black hole to do anything.
This is something that we pointed out before the game started, that OG has literally 0 cooldowns. Yeah, sure, there is Zeus ulti. You don't care too much about it. On the other side, there is Enigma's black hole. There is Puck and also Dawnbreaker ulti. So you can punish that. Like, you have 2-3 minutes in between always that something is going to be on cooldown where you can go in and pretty much do whatever they want. We still got to give credit to Gaming Gladiators because they played the tri-lane extremely well. Yeah. Tofu was on point, like his rotation. I mean, Gaming Gladiators, they're probably the best team out there that knows how to utilize a tri-lane.
Yeah, I was going to agree. And also, going back to the damage number real quick, the Slada obviously being less than Enigma. Slada's part of 20 kills, Enigma was part of 9. And also Slada, his damage also was enabling everyone else, right? He puts the amp on, the bristle was already hitting for like 600-700. So even though like the damage doesn't look there, it's just the impact in which you have a Slada with 2-3 items entering the game compared to Enigma. And we've already said earlier, Enigma's got a 30% win rate right now. It's really low. Like at the major, teams weren't ready for what Enigma did. And now it's like, wait a second, if we just run at him, punish his timings a bit more, get across the river, have a better draft, you can do it. So yeah, I think OG, if you pick Enigma against them, you've got to have like a perfect strat because they are the team that have played Enigma, won a major, played Enigma, lost some DPC games, and now don't really play it. So you got to really know what you're doing.
And when they played it, they put it on position 4 as well. So they made sure that, you know, because it felt like you bring the same thing to the table. It's still the black hole, whether you're on position 4 or 3. What will happen in game number 2? Will Gaming Gladiators force out a 3rd game to this series, or will OG get a 2-0 to their name? We're finding out. Stay with us. We'll have a quick break.
What you waiting for? Yeah. Get going, what you waiting for? Do we really need an introduction? Nah. A new start, no space reduction. Hey. Yeah. What you waiting for? Yeah. Get going. What you waiting for? We only get one life. We only get one life. You can have it all. The choice is yours. Don't just sit around and wait. If you really want this feeling, yeah, you should come a little closer now. What you waiting for? We can really break the ceiling, yeah. Don't you know you and I were born to fly? Get going, what you waiting for? Whoa, yeah. You can have it all, What you waiting for? Whoa, yeah. You can have it all. The choice is yours. Get going. What you waiting for?
We're so connected, even though oceans apart. You are the person I call home.
It is time for game number 2 between OG and Gaming Gladiators. The first game of this best of 3 and a more even game. Will that be had with a Marcy first pick, T?
I mean, OG's not second pick this time, so they can't really do the Viper +1. I think the main thing here is they get Marcy, so Gladiators have to be thinking, oh god, if we don't pick Viper or Viper counter, OG will happily go Master Viper most likely. So yeah, it's a cool entry to the draft. Ban's kind of nothing too crazy. Timber Razor.
This time around, they will have Marcy, so they're pretty similar to what Gaming Gladiators did in the previous game with this Tusk roaming around, making stuff done with Marcy. It's pretty easy to go in and just go for the pickoffs, especially if you die, like you TP to a lane, it's kind of guaranteed kill.
They have to snap pick up the Viper themselves, but they pair it nicely with a Tusk. We've already mentioned previously, Marcy's a hero. If you're able to jump onto these heroes with your ultimate, let's say BKB Basher, get them low, Tusk is quite an elusive style of hero with the snowball, so yeah, you can also kick her away eventually with the Ags.
Yep.
It's not too bad of a matchup, honestly. And this lane's very potent.
It is. I would like to see a little bit more effort put into the mid lane. Of course, we had BZM's Tiny versus Boom's Puck, and BZM got a solo kill, which does kind of scream outplay. I would like to have a matchup. Oh, we have Puck on the other side this time. I would like to have a matchup against that Puck with Boom where we can see Boom still come out of the lanes a little bit better, because I feel like he's very needed to have a good game set the tempo.
He definitely needs to have a good start to be able to dominate the game. Looking at this Puck pick, just feels good. They're banning out Tiny already. Against Tusk, against Viper, this is not the lockdown that you need. Like, you use a snowball, try to go on Puck, you get out of position. Using Coil on Tusk, can't use the snowball because of the leash mechanic. Any leash will always be, or root is always going to be good against Tusk. Just overall, like, Tusk has so many bad matchups. Like, one of the reasons why we see Hero like buying a BKB second item no matter what position he's playing. Like, you just need to have it.
And for OG, you mentioned about this Puck having a good lane. Nowadays, like, you already see Void Spirit Tiny. If this was previous patches, they might even ban out the DK. Having that instant stun against a Puck, Puck can never really kill you in mid lane. It forces Puck to think more about rotating. And if she does rotate, DK will take your tower. So that's another option. And if you really want to throw back even further, there's more options like Death Prophet with the sign and stuff like that. But they've kind of fallen out of meta. Nowadays, it's more the heroes that can actually kill Puck rather than just prevent her from entering the team fight.
I mean, Boom, he's a Dragonite player. If they want to do that, get rid of him. But banning out Phantom Lance for Gaming Gladiators. The first thing that comes to my mind is like, oh, they're going to go for Terrorblade.
To be fair, it's also OG is one of the few teams that does play it. They played it last week and they you know,
They did.
they looked really good against Entity with it. And with a Viper lane, having some type of dispel on your carry, be it the doppel from PL, a spin from Jug, a rage from Lifestealer.
Also being able to like get over the shard, dodge the snowball, makes sense.
This is a like we already mentioned Tusk. Tusk is a hero that enables others rather than it naturally having a good game by itself. And when you have OG with like a mid hero like Puck, Tusk can't really rotate to that lane.
No.
Marcy in the side lane as well, you can't really rotate to go her. Can rebound out, can dispose. Like there's so many things for it to do. So already it's quite a difficult Tusk game. Imagine if now the safe lane also had a hero that Tusk couldn't really kill. This hero is just going to feel like nothing in the first 50. That draw breath against the Marcy, having the armor, you don't really care about that kind of the kill timings that Marcy presents in that side lane. But probably a little bit, maybe. Especially when OG will have this later pick. Okay.
Okay, that's their approach. That's their safe lane.
Four to 5, keeping the Marcy a little bit open as well, forcing Gladiator to pick up one more pick. It also deals with the tankiness of Viper DK later into the game, and it allows like you set up on the side lane with this Marcy type hero, and then suddenly Fury and Puck TPing and getting the additional kill. But it does lean more into skirmishing and quick picks and running around the map, rather than maybe dealing with what Gladiators will be presenting at 20 minutes, which is this all-round kill. And yeah, instead they go for Zeus. Much safer alternative.
Global presence.
Yeah.
Having
Quite
Puck,
a bit. Ooh.
Nature's Prophet, Zeus, you can always go and try to find the kills on map with just having one hero present. We've seen some different Alchemist, different roles for him, 1, 2, and 3. The 33 one was pretty obnoxious, staying on top of the network as an Alchemist.
Playing a 3, but playing a
Pretty
carry.
much, like, you know, you would expect him to go with theory. Ah, maybe it's an Ags, maybe he's gonna play for the team. Didn't happen. He played for himself, bought the Ags eventually, but went for Radiance build. We're definitely gonna see more of this hero. Not sure if they have enough to be able to just keep them busy until Alchemist is farming. Because OG's lineup can explode very easily. Like, you can gank from Fog, which, let's say you have Puck, who is level 6, and the Nature's Prophet, DP, Zeus, Ulti, Marcy jumping in from the Fog. Very easy to execute lineup on side of OG.
I think the way Gladiator will lane it is just putting the Alk into the Furion lane. If it is a carry Furion, your strengths against Alk is by playing your lane into then TPing to others to take towers and pressure the map. If you're laning into an Alk who naturally is a very strong laner, we saw Miracle also do the Urn build, so you have innate armor anyway to counter the Blightstone of Furion. You can take a lot of fights, prevent the earlier timing, and then if you then look at Alk v Furion in a core v core equal farm matchup, of course Alk will naturally feel better just running around the map.
Last time we saw Gaming Gladiators pick the Alchemist up, they laned it together with a Warlock. Is that something that's still on the table here? Because when you're mentioning they need something to stop the aggression from OG before the Alchemist is fat, is there a support that can do that?
I mean, if they want to run Viper as position 5, he kind of does the same thing.
Okay.
Doesn't have a heal, but runs in, soak ups the damage for Alchemist. If this is going to be position 4 Tusk, that means that stacks for Alk are not going to be as good. Like, usually you would want to have range position 4 to be able to stack the triangle way because it's more efficient. Otherwise, you need to use mana on Tusk with to just use the shards to stack, and it's not as good. This hero just needs mana constantly.
That sounds like Crystal Maiden game to me. Let's go.
To be fair though, like if you think about the lanes that they can set up, if they do go for a tri lane, this Alk with the concoction, some Tusk plus any support that provides some slow, like it's a very potent lane.
They still removed the Terrorblade from the pool. You guys were saying that Nature's Prophet could very well be a carry here for Uriah.
I think so. If this is Viper on the off lane, he has a problem dealing with the summons, illusions, whatever, and I think that's one way to approach it.
So then we need an Amar hero on the side of OG, is the one that we feel is...
There's still
perhaps
flexibility.
yeah.
There's this puck is going to be played on the mid lane. They're not going to flex that. Not sure, like, how does Amar even start playing a new hero? Because he can't pass his own test.
I mean, he's played a lot of Mars. Mars is still in the pool. You know, he passes the test on that.
What if it's a Marcy?
A Marcy? I would
Yeah.
like that. Because we already have a Mars and a Mar. Now also maybe a Marcy. Would be nice. Unlikely, though. We have seen a Marcy in the carry position a week ago. We saw it once only. That might still also be a little bit far-fetched perhaps. But most likely then a Mars hero yet to be picked up.
In regard to competitive games, doesn't have a lot of games on any of the 4 heroes they picked so far, so very much is
What are we missing?
you'd assume it's an Amar hero right now, but yeah.
What is
I
the
wouldn't
pool?
mind a stun, something beefy, a
Yep.
front line, because Zeus, Nature's Prophet, Puck, these heroes don't
Short arc.
like to be ran at.
Yeah, I like that. I think
It's beefy with the stun.
the thing is with this Slaughter is it's about if you make a mistake against Slaughter and you just allow him to farm up his lane, it's hard to really out him from a lane. At 15-20 minutes, he's going to have Mask of Madness blink. You fail, that's a free Aegis, and then they're going to exploit it.
Ooh.
Okay.
Choose your hero.
Okay, I need to
1,
see
2,
what
3,
where they're laning
4
it.
strength melee heroes. One does have a transformation, so not gonna be in melee form. Against Nature's Prophet, Slaughter, Zeus, I'm a little worried for Gaming Gladiators.
On the flip side, I would say I'm also somewhat worried for the Furion, because when you're playing a carry Furion, the worst thing you hate is playing with beefy carries that you can't right-click down. You need like a 1 or 2 item advantage to be able
You
to
don't
honestly
in
kill them.
this game. You have Slaughter.
Yeah,
He
Potentially.
solves that problem. Also, you build into Silver Edge on Nature's Prophet against Dragon Knight, Viper, Bristleback.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of value coming out from that item, and you will have like a little bit of extra damage sustain from Marcy.
Yeah, it's about OG needs to play with all the heroes together. If they don't, they are going to have some potential issues. But yeah, Puck Zeus I think covers that quite nicely. But yeah, Gladiators, if they have their good lanes and get item advantage, then they're going to be so tanky throughout this entire game.
Also, that's not the accurate sound that sharks make, by the way.
Being tanky against Zeus is also not the thing
Yeah.
you want. Like, position 4 Zeus, he scales well.
He does.
Position 4 Zeus does get the items no matter what. You're going to be getting the last hits. They do have heroes that can get on top of him. Anything with the strength, like they have 1, 2, 3, even 4 heroes that can play. I'm just a little worried how they pass this, like Slaughter, Nature's Prophet, Puck. If they kill Dragon Knight, they don't have anything for Puck. They have no lockdown whatsoever.
All right, so it's an uphill battle here for Gaming Gladiators.
I mean, they have really nice counters to some of these tanky heroes, but yeah. And I still see Gladiators heroes, and if they actually hit their stride, they can really run over OG. But OG has much nicer little skirmishing, and they're one of the best teams in their skirmishing.
Well, let's find out if we have a 2-0 on our hands or if Gaming Gladiators will force out a third game to this series. We're heading over to OD Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 ready to go here between OG and Gaming Gladiators. Fogged, what do you make of the 2 drafts this time round?
A lot of bulk and beef on Gaming Gladiators, but definite ways for OG to do the same thing of their scaling, right? This triple core that they like to go for. I mean, I say triple, quad core that they like to go for a lot of the times. Yeah, lots of melee heroes that really rely a lot on the DK, right? To catch this puck. I think that could be one of the big issues, because we've seen so many times these pucks just actually take over game when there's only one real element to take one real element to actually stun them. We saw yesterday from Secret. In particular, how Nisha was able to just dominate the map. Even though he was versus a DK, that was kind of only thing that he had to deal with, and he made so much space on the map. So let's see if the greed does work for OG, because I do see a world where Gaming Gladiators could just really take over this map. If they do hit an early item timing, they get an early Roche. There could be some damage issues for OG for this Nature's Prophet. But yeah, let's see how this all goes. And I've seen this a couple times now. There's a puck that goes in the mid lane. He places his ward on his left side there, near his small camp, for vision, and then they put a sentry to block the camp, and it actually gets both. It blocks the camp and it dewards it. So I've seen that one many times now, actually, that people just lose their ward super early.
Sometimes you just want to get dewarded.
Yeah, sometimes. And who did get the deward? The experience was split for, what is the DK and the Bristle, it looks like. So, all right. How our lane's going to look, too. Ace playing in the off lane. Well, it looks like it'll be with the Tusk, but knowing Gaming Gladiators, they might move things around still. That lane could be problematic. Alk Tusk versus what looks to be a Marcy plus Nature's Prophet. I could see this Alk getting shut down pretty hard, so they're probably going to have to do some creep manipulations, which is why you see Tofu, as usual, for the most part, starting boots on Tusk. So they'll start pulling some creeps very early on. And they do have this deep ward, which gives him a little bit of extra intelligence, a little bit of ease of access to be able to try to pull these creeps. And they're actually going to switch things up. So OG, they're instead going to even put the Slardar bottom to deal with the Alchemist to put pressure onto him. Cool. A little bit of a change up. And OG maybe even putting up a aggro tri-lane, it looks like, for themselves.
See Misha really going for Celery here.
Celery might just die. Very slow hero, 275 move speed.
And with the slow of the Heavenly Jump,
they got him.
First blood for Tiger.
Smart for Taiga to go for the skill. Usually you don't see this taken level 1, but it is very strong level 1. 1.6 seconds slow. Marcy having a very good base attack time can stick on top of that. On top of that Viper. He even used the really cool kind of thing he did there too, is he jumped off of or he was gonna like wait to jump and pull him behind the treants to block him, so nice stuff. So they can do a lot of combos with these treants once he gets 2 on Misha.
Tiger just harassing back the two of them here. Tofu and Ace, who are trying to get that creep wave drag around.
Lots of creep manipulation gonna be going on down here, even though we did see the lanes kind of switched up a little bit. Oh, Amar, he lost his range creep. Bottom. I mean, you don't have to look at it, but it's just kind of funny. I don't know why it did that. Like, he had it perfect to be able to pull this like creep aggro behind the town. That actually makes a difference, because now it's not going to deny the whole wave. While in top, you do see that whole wave getting denied from Gaming Gladiators. Taiga's doing the right thing, though. As support, this is what you should do. You can test them behind there so that the XP doesn't get wasted. Well, the same thing you see Tofu trying to do, but yeah, it's a pretty big deal that that range creep de-aggroed, because now lane will shove into the Alchemist's favor. And Bristleback is in that matchup versus the Nature's Prophet, so it gets a little extra last hits versus Treants.
Yeah, they're ready to get very aggressive top. Duracho and Celery both ready to play behind the tower here to grab the creeps.
I'm intrigued why they decided to go for this lane setup, rather than having the Slardar versus the Bristleback. I guess they wanted to have the Slardar shut down the Alchemist harder. That's why they put him in the matchup down there, but yeah, a bit curious.
I mean, I imagine, well, yeah, look. They're going to get on top of Ace under the tier 1.
Yeah, I mean, they can. It's a melee hero, right? Melee versus Slardar is pretty disastrous usually.
Can they go for Tofu as well? I guess a little hard.
Watch out.
The tower hits coming in.
Acid spray under tower. Okay, so I guess, yeah, that's probably the idea behind it, is just to be laning versus that Al. You don't want him to be getting that early timing that we saw from 33 the other day, that super fast radiance from the off lane.
Top Misha. Constantly looking to see if he can get the setup onto Celery around the pool. See bottom of the... Might be able to get it. Oh no. Of course, Heavenly Jump. Always lovely to have against these Tusk lanes.
What an ability, honestly. I love how you just see him picked so much more often. He did get like double buffs, of course, but Zeus just in every game, it feels like now. Yeah, let's see how mid goes. I mean, it's a bit. This one's the least one I think we'll look at, because it's a bit of that boring matchup.
Yeah, no one's dying there.
Farm. But the important thing is that because they blocked the small camp of the puck, the DK will probably come out slightly ahead. Oh, look at this. Yaragi's actually using his treants to kill bounty runes. So he did kill the one right there, of course. I think BZM was actually perhaps going for it, but either way, you see Celery, he backs up to check the area, check the bounty rune, get some stacks, and he's like, oh man, there's no bounty, but he will get the double stack available for his bristleback, but it's getting scouted, so that's why you see that deep ward being placed there. They're gonna know these stacks are going on, and probably gonna get contested pretty early.
Tiger. He's just chasing out Tofu here. Is he gonna have him?
He might. Ooh, close.
He's gonna be able to get out, but we'll have to take a walk back to base here.
You cannot ever forget how much right-click damage Zeus does. Look at that base damage. It's beautiful. One of the higher ones in the game for these ranged heroes.
Mid lane.
Just constant back and forth harassment.
I mean, can they either start bringing any sort of supports in to try and look to get a kill here before the sixes?
No, not really. What we've seen so much is these pucks, like, you have to make the call, right? You'll have to say, they're gonna, like, DK's pushing mid, we're gonna have to bring like 1 or 2 extra heroes to kill the DK on his Elder Dragon form, which they can do pretty easily. Misha, he should be okay. They do have the global potential of the Nature's Prophet that can TP and always help these side lanes too, as well as the, like, you know, level 6 as soon as it comes out, so that's something that Boom does have to be a bit cautious of on his first Dragon form usage, because they do have great ways to, like, if he tries to commit for a tower, they have the Marcy that can throw him even deeper under the tower, / even break coil, and then they have the Wrath of Nature that can come in, so he does have to be a little careful how aggressive he plays to go for that tower.
Trying a bit of setup onto Dyrachyo, but at this stage, with the 3 points of the Quills and turning the passive, it does feel like these two heroes, they're not really going to kill Dyrachyo in this lane setup anymore.
And that's why I was mentioning, like, it's a bit interesting that they chose for this lane setup.
Sure, because they're not...
He's eating the treants, he gets to farm them extra, and you're not really shutting him down at all, but it's the choice that they made, right? Having that Slardar versus the Alk to shut him down harder.
And yeah, bottom lane, for sure, no, Ace, he's not free farming.
No.
I mean, he's not getting massively shut down, like the farm, it's still there. But it's not some sort of explosive start where he's going completely left alone.
No, and he's at risk of dying. You know, if he does make like an overstep, he will just get killed from the Slardar Zeus, plus even a TP from one. So Zeus, Dream Coil is online. DK also has hit 6. And BZM, he does have a DD, so that does pose a bit of a threat for Boom to actually go for any type of aggressive play with his Dragon form. Go for the tower at all. Here's the first rotation. Oh, Dyrachyo, they got him.
Yeah, good setup there from Misha. And indeed, with the DD, a couple of hits is all it takes. Dyrachyo still very easily dealt with when they bring in a +1.
He had his vitality booster too. He seemed like ran toward the secret shop. He's like, please let me buy the Vanguard, but gets brought down before he's able to. And BZM keeps Coil available.
Oh, look at this move, straight towards the bottom, Misha. He's going to try and set up some action here, and he'll do so successfully. Tofu gets taken out. Ace will be able to throw out the concoction. He's on his own once again and has to back off, especially now with the 6 online for Amar. Huge kill potential on both of these melee heroes the Gaming Gladiators have had down here.
This is the power of Marcy. The early game, first 10 minutes is always very threatening for any lane. You show, if you're in range, if you see the Marcy, you're probably dead. That's kind of the joke that people have been throwing out. They're so good at repositioning. Ace has to, he's still sitting very low. Nature's Prophet about to hit 6 too. Ace does have to be a bit careful how he steps up in these next few moments. Misha continues to get aggressive wards down, scout things out. Can you get Courier?
Has been killed.
One-shots it. Nice play with the sidekick. Power Rune. Haste Rune will be denied away from the puck. That rotation for Celery actually works out pretty nicely bottom. He has his Urn done, so he gets an Urn charge, goes mid, kills a Rune, and now potentially might be able to set up for something else here, keeping Ace topped off.
A bit of a slower start from Gaming Gladiators this time round. They're not a bad one as Tiger.
Tiger pushing the limits really of this heavenly jump.
He was pretty deep there, sort of surrounded by 3 heroes, but a nicely placed jump. He's back into the shadows and they won't be able to find him.
Celery knows that in the meanwhile, they're also stealing the stacks, so I think they're pretty happy about this. In the meanwhile, they know that he did place a ward down, the way the Taiga's playing. So you see the first ward, the Sentry misses. Immediately second one is bought by Celery, but very good aggressive wards. OG, they're scouting out the stacks. They know the type of greed play that Gaming Gladiators is trying to play with the Bristle. And they're going for these invade plays early.
See Amar there. Just straight in. Yeah, you can't come close to this Slardar.
Mask of Madness done already.
He will rip you to pieces with these bashes.
And like even Duraccio, if he steps up too far top, a Slardar TP, he only has 5 armor. He'll put negative. Sure, he's got a Vanguard, but he will not look tanky once he's Corrosive Hazed.
And he's going to head down to the bottom lane, Duraccio.
Okay. They don't want to lose this. I don't think anybody else can really go down there versus Amar right now, so he doesn't want to lose the tower super early. OG continuing to want to play aggressive. A very early Witchblade. No boots on BZM, but Witchblade plus Fairy Trinket already online. So his damage, it's high. If they find actually pretty much anybody, even Ace, very likely he'll go down. They have the Wrath of Nature on top too. And he shows.
They're going to be able to get the jump in. So if you get the angle to break the coil, they can. Nice positioning there from Misha to make sure that he gets that guaranteed snap on the coil with the dispose.
It's one of my favorite combos, really, the Marcy Puck, just watching them play it patiently, being able to break that coil constantly. It's also, I like the skill build too. I like when people go for like 2-1-2 on this hero. As the damage.
I mean, Amar's going to try and do this on his own. He will have to back off, especially with the TPs coming in. But that was half the HP of Duraccio, so that was just solo. So just showing the potential of the damage Amar can still do, even against a Bristle with a Vanguard.
He's actually going for treads on the Bristleback. Okay, I know he's carry, but a lot of times when you do see them, especially when they're playing versus something like Slardar, they ideally want to get some type of armor early into their build. He really is deceptively squishy.
I mean, Misha, he's in with the setup. Further TP's coming in. BZM's going to be able to jump forward. If they've got enough burst to bring him down, they certainly do. There's nowhere for him to run. BZM takes the kill.
Oh, I was worried about this puck getting an early start like this too. Even though
he's looking at him at the top.
It's only a DK. That's the only reliable stun that they have for him. Everything else he can disjoint pretty easily. The Tusk, the Alchemist, etc.
Oh, and he wants to play for, so going for this full early game damage, the Witchblade into the urn for him.
Okay, so I guess he wants the Vessel. It is a super valuable Vessel game.
Great, yeah, it is. And he's going to be the hero to farm it the quickest.
Yep.
And, Ace.
Oh, Ace, he's going for the, okay.
Oh,
so he's just going to feed the Ags to the Bristle early on.
I guess that's the plan.
Okay. I mean, that kills his net worth.
It does kind of make him a bit of a non-hero. So indeed, putting everything into the basket of Duraccio by rushing him and Ags.
Okay. As you mentioned, OG, they're playing a greed style where they're going to have 3 scaling cores, and this kind of feels like Gaming Gladiators is going to put themselves into position of only having the Bristleback to rely on. And looking at the itemization, Yuragi, he's going for Deso. So we already mentioned it. He's going treads on Bristle. So armor's going to be low.
Physical DPS here, right?
Deso NP plus a Corrosive Haze that's going to be high level because of how Amar's game is going. Seems like it could be some problems for Gaming Gladiators pretty quickly in this one.
I mean, the question is going to be as well, do you think this was the plan here with the offlane Alchemist pick, or is this a reaction to how the game's going?
It must have just been the plan. We thought even 33 would do it the other day.
We did. You know,
when he was playing with the Wyvern.
That's when he had a mid-Wyvern, right?
Yeah, but he had such a good game that he was just like, I'm the carry now. So things do switch up when you do have that good game. But
well, we'll see if it works out. I mean, it will mean, of course, that Draccio's going to get an insanely fast Aghanims. Means he himself can go for this BKB after the Vanguard.
He's still going to have no armor. That is still my biggest concern about the Treads build. Unless he finds some type of like armor item in particular, like a neutral item, he's still going to look fairly squishy, getting put negative. A Deso hit plus a Corrosive Haze. And as we said, Amar, he's having a very good game. So he'll hit level 12 early. So they'll have like minus 22 armor pretty early on.
Just 900 gold away from the Aghanims, so it will, of course, be there. Still a very, very good timing.
Yeah. All right, that's what's on. All right, so sorry, minus 21 armor. Apologies. But still, you look at his armor, he has 9 right now. He'll be put to negative 12, so that tankiness will look a lot different. Zeus also scaling, as we said. OG, they like to distribute their farm. So he's also going to have good timings to be able to burst down these tanky strength cores. And yeah, Misha, we did see point that, of course. He's going more for the sidekick build. He's just going to be buffing up both his Slardar or his Nature's Prophet with the max sidekick early on. And that counteracts a lot of quill damage. It does, so it's a pretty ridiculous amount of sustain that comes in. But game has slowed down a little bit. OG getting their farm. Same thing for Gaming Gladiators. So that Aghanims is going to be done right now.
It's going to be done.
So let's see what they're going to be able to do with it for Duraccio. He knows too, like, of course, Duraccio, it's not like he's unaware that the armor is going to be an issue. He queues up plate mail afterwards, but, that time before he has plate mail, we'll see how it goes. blinked on for Amar. So pace of the game now feels like it's going to kick up quite quick on the side of OG.
Now, I think so when you do this as like the offlane Alchemist as aces, after the Aghanims, you know, you're buying one here for the Bristol, and then what you are going to see the normal items start to come out for Ace. He's going to go try and turn himself back into his own core.
I wonder. I think he should get. I honestly feel like he should get something like a medallion at least, so that then he can like buff up his Bristol even more. Since the whole draft is going to be about Bristol, I want him to go down that route. But I mean, maybe he could just get another Aghanims and give it to a DK, but that doesn't sound too good this game.
Accelerate. He'll go down. We'll see. Maybe Amar trying to find Ace, but Ace will be able to retreat in time. And there we go. Hands the Ags over to Dyrachyo.
Okay. Let's see what they can do.
So 14 minutes Ags on the Bristol hit, thanks to the out.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I'm still pretty concerned. I have to be honest.
But yeah, because it does mean you've basically not got an offlane.
No.
There's no offlane.
No offlane. You're all reliant on this DK and Bristol, and they're quad scaling.
Dude, he's still got it, unless it was queued up from... No, I think he's re-queued it up. He's got another Ags queued up. Ace is just going to be farming Ags this game.
Okay. Yeah, I said it's a possibility that he just gives the DK and Aghanims too, but it's,
all right.
Yeah, the DK is playing into this high minus armor. So yeah, look at, we see there the math, of course, what that effective HP does not look nearly as high. 9-1 already.
Dire are scanning.
I almost feel like even he should buy the plate mill before finishing BKB at this point. They see him right now.
Let's go. This was the big investment here from Gaming Gladiators, isn't it? It's looking just like the markets. Straight downhill. That was a lot of money on that man, and he dies.
They already have the Vestal even on BZM. This game looks like it's going to be a disaster.
Trying maybe something a little bit different. The old offlane out, rushing the Ags. But it's getting punished. It's getting punished very heavily here. OG, they're just bringing the fight. And when you've only got two cores, essentially, that you know you sort of have that you can present. And of course, Dyrachyo here, the man that was handed the Ags. It's just not looking like it's doing much at all. He still dies incredibly easily, and you put a lot of money and resources onto that hero.
Oof, and he bought a shard now too. I think they know that this game is already getting completely out of control. He's got still the same amount of armor, so the effectiveness just gets better. Yeah, Slaughter now level 12, 13. So yeah, even more minus armor. I think Zeus is about to have his shard done too, so you know, it's tough to be tanky when you're playing versus this type of draft, even as a bristleback. If they don't get this Rosh, it feels like the game might just be pretty impossible for them to turn around. So let's see if they do. It gets scanned out immediately, but it feels like they have to commit for this.
So are you going to do anything about this?
They don't have Zeus.
Imagine they can.
They don't have Wrath of Nature. Well, they look like they're just going to give it up. They see it.
Yeah, they're completely aware this is happening. And indeed, they'll let Gaming Gladiators take this. So a little bit of something. Now get that Aegis onto Dyrachyo.
Is he still... Okay, Ace is still going to be... Okay, I thought maybe he switched it up, but no, still just going to go for that second.
He wants those Aghanims.
Okay. I want somebody to build someone to build a medallion or something. Right now I see the drums for Tofu. What do we have for Celery? Okay, Celery's going to be the one building medallion. Right.
Okay.
I was hoping somebody did, because they do need a little bit of armor for this bristle.
Yeah, they got to buff him up. You know, if you're going to go for this sort of strat, you have to go all in on just protecting Dyrachyo, keeping him alive.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It has to just be like them running around. It looks a little weird, but the way they have to play is like Ace jungles and 4 heroes, like 3 heroes sit on top of the Bristol to make sure he doesn't get picked. Which just means that I feel like OG, they're just going to get more gold out of the map. They're going to keep split pushing with the Nature's Prophet. They'll look up for setup for Amar when he feels comfortable. So even though they got this Aegis, they have to force something with it. Otherwise, they will just get to continue to be out-farmed.
They're getting objectives out of this.
Yep.
They get Roche, they get the tier 1 mid. So OG giving them a bit of space, but I always feel like there's going to be some concern, you know.
Oh, they got the courier with the plate mail.
Armor on. They will be able to dive in, take out Tiger.
Okay.
But Amar's killed off Ace's courier as well. You know, finally these courier snipes them up. BKB's nearly done for him. But yeah, the plate mail out of action for a couple of minutes. At least, of course, having the Aegis to rely on here, Dyrachyo. So Gaming Gladiators can still look to move around and get maybe a bit more around, with this Alchemy. So ready, how close is he to the next Ags? He's got it, yeah.
He's got it
next
done when it respawns.
Alcax is done.
Do they give it? Do you give it to
I mean,
the DK? I mean, do you want a Tusk to be booting people
That's what
around?
I'm feeling like. If you feel the game's getting rough, maybe having that kick on Tusk ready for the high ground
They'll
defense.
just give it to Boom. I mean, it's too good. Sure, he won't be Black Dragon yet, but even level 3 Dragon form is pretty nice at this point in the game. The slow can be pretty decent. But yeah, as you see, literally running as a 4-man unit.
Yeah, you have to
all
do
about
this, right.
Bristle. Well, Alk farms up.
You've had him this Ags, this insane timing because of the Alchemist benefit. You've got to look to use it.
Misha breaks the smoke. And Boom can't blink, he gets cancelled. And now,
Ooh,
3-man coil.
The 3-man coil! Oh, they just die immediately!
Oh boy.
Immediately, they just disappear!
And Dyrachyo, he may have an Aegis, but he's gonna get brought down twice. 5 versus 1.
I mean, it's looking very scary. At OG, they were sort of like, yeah, you can take the Roshan.
Like, whatever.
Yeah, you can take the tier 1 mid. And then, they finally sort of decide, they're like, all right, guys, should we go for a team fight? Here we go, job done. Matter of seconds, 3 heroes dead. Gaming Gladiators just not standing a chance there.
No. A perfect really from BZM. And now they have BKB done on Yuragi, BKB done on Amar.
Let's see. More Aghanims. Let's go. Ace, as I said, yeah, waiting on that courier. Looks like he's going to start building for himself after these 2 Aghanims. So this looks to be what the plan was all along here. Get the Ags for the Bristle, Ags for the DK, and then look to sort of resume normal farming for himself, Ace.
But OG, I mean, they were the kind of the I mean, not this OG, of course, not these guys, but they were the ones who kind of invented this off-lane Alchemist. What, 2 years ago, I believe it was, when they were just giving this to the Void Spirit in particular, the Monkey King. They would play this on Seb, hand this Aghanims over, and get this big timing. So they have an idea of how to play versus this, I'd imagine. And right now, it's looking like a perfect game plan. They have this Tricore that's farming, as they always do, and they have a Zeus who scales incredibly well versus this damage. Incredibly well versus these tanky heroes.
Let's see what they can get going next.
Ooh, they even give the Marcy the Brig. This is a really good Marcy item, the Brigand's.
I mean, yeah, you're on about this one. It's just such a hugely beneficial item.
Since you hit so fast, you're able to just get the increased benefit of it, especially. Even though you're this 4 position, you're always getting the sidekick on yourself as well, too, when you buff up an ally. So you do actually do quite a significant amount of damage. And he is 12. They are getting this very good scaling.
There we go, smoke time here from the 2 of them.
Yeah,
Misha and Amar.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Let's see if the second Aghanims will make anything work.
Of course, he's not got anything at all on himself to protect him from this sort of jump. Tofu's also going to be caught out. OG very much showing if they want to get some kills, they can get them. They can pretty much get what they want.
Look, Taiga's not even afraid. He's jumping towards the Bristleback. Coil connects. Do they have follow-up?
They do.
They sure do.
Amar's in on top of him. That's going to be Dyrachyo taken out.
19-2.
It's getting... It's been very, very rough. And as I say, it's just a strat that they've just completely punished their OG Gaming Gladiators. They go for this offlane out. They rush the Ags, but they rush their Ags for Dyrachyo. And Dyrachyo, he's 0-5-1.
He really is. BZM is also just completely popping off on the puck, as we kind of felt like could happen this game.
And Amar, 6-0-10,
They're all just
having a fantastic time on Slardar.
Yep.
As I say, not a hero that we're seeing a lot of teams really play, but Amar, both of these games, having a great time on it. And it's had a huge impact. This sort of buff up with the minus physical armor, they can't survive for it.
No, and he's 18 now, so Corrosive Haze is already maxed out at 23 minutes of the game.
That's so much damage.
So he might have a plate mail, but yeah, he's still going to be negative armor, He's got 23 armor, but with the Deso hit plus that, he's still just negated. And there's always static field also coming to play, as we were mentioning, for the Zeus. And Spirit Vessel. I mean, they've itemized pretty much perfectly on the side of OG. Gaming Gladiators continue to just have to play as this 4-5 unit.
Dire's top tower
They revealed themselves in mid. They used the Fireball on the creep wave. So OG, there you know exactly the positioning of them at the moment. They're gonna just stick together.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I mean, how did Gaming Gladiators take a fight?
I don't know.
Like,
Owen. I really don't know.
Who are you sort of looking for in these team fights that you're saying, you know what, guys, we can go on this person and we can kill them without losing anyone ourselves?
It's like somehow they have to get on BZM and kill him immediately, but they just at this point there's going to be so much follow-up, and then there's going to have other massive problems because they do have this like tri-quad core already for OG. And OG's, they're reading the movements perfectly, right? Like the whole game, it does feel like they just know exactly where Gaming Gladiators are positioning. They're getting the wraparound. Zeus ult the scout.
And straight in they go. They'll take out Celery. They'll push Tofu off to the side. Boom will come in with the Dragon Tail onto BZM, but it's only going to be a momentary stun. Amar, he's on top of the Bristol. Dretcher was able to bring down Misha.
MR just pretty much solo killed the Bristleback, let's be honest.
There's 4 dead. Ace is going to try and run. He has got the blink up, but they're going to be chasing. Sprouts up. Ace will cut his way through, but Amar's in on top of him with the bashes. It's a team wipe.
Godlike for Amar. Not a smile. Not even a little smile for us.
This has been a rough one.
It's been a rough one for sure.
It's been a rough one.
OG just seems to have had their number after that, you know, kind of disaster that happened in the first game around that Roche pit.
Yeah,
they knew exactly
I like that, you know, even after sort of the rough way that the second half of game 1 went, Gaming Gladiators, they weren't afraid to turn up in this game 2. Try, you know, a bit of a gimmicky strat, of course, with the offlane out, rushing the Aghanims, but it's not worked out.
No.
It's not worked out at all here. OG have just completely walked over it.
Level 20 now on Slaughter, even more minus armor. All right, the buyback.
See what they can do with this. Amar,
they want Amar.
It's getting a little bit low, and he will go down. So the buyback will get the job done. Yuragi, he's able to TP out just in time. That was very, very close. See if they can get the kill on Puck as well. They can.
Will. Okay.
Gaming Gladiators holding on. They keep the racks alive and get the kill. 2 of them, the big ones, Amar and BZM, showing still a little bit of a sign of life here.
They're gonna need quite a few more of those, but a good sign of life in particular. Got Godlike streak and a Wicked 6 streaks, and Duracho got one of the last hits especially too, so very important for him. So actually the 2 most important heroes in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you get the Solar Crest now for Celery to buff up the Bristleback, and Bristol should have a follow-up item after this BKB pretty soon. And oh, is Roche? Oh, that would have been so lucky for them if it was an instant spawn Roche. Small signs of life.
Misha. He's not going to want to mess around with Duracho too much, just the 2 supports hit.
Yuragi also has Silver Edge done, of course, so the break versus both the DK and the Bristleback will be quite potent. Also gonna have AC pretty fast in this game, as we saw, you know, of course, Amar, even though he could have bought an AC, he wants his Moonshard.
Gaming Gladiators able to pull out that defense around the mid. See if they're now able to go for anything aggressive, or if it's just going to be a case of waiting for OG to push once more.
They have an Arcane Rune on the Bristle.
And they're going to try and go.
This could be something that allows him to maybe open up his damage.
So they had a good defense there, but can they actually take fights outside of the map?
They also have BKB and 18 on DK, so now he does have Black Dragon form. And a bit more protection to be able to stick on top of the puck.
Let's have a look. OG, they're smoked up themselves. The scam will catch Gaming Gladiators, so OG know exactly where to head.
And bottom is getting sieged. You cannot neglect these Treants. The greater Treants are going to be able to take down this tower.
They're going to try and force the Roche here, Gaming Gladiators. It's going down very quickly.
They're getting low.
They're in. There's going to be the jump. They'll put the BKBs, but Amar just beating down on the DK. Just matters. Boom just disappears here to the physical damage that OG have. Everybody's going down. It's a team wipe in a matter of seconds, and they'll call it. They've had enough. GG.
Again, the Zeus getting the scout, the information in every single one of these team fights. He Thunder God's Drafts, and then there, BZM, he gets the coil on all 3 of the support heroes in the back lines, allows Amar just to go to work inside the rush pit. Yep. A perfect game, it felt like, for OG. It looks like they knew exactly what Gaming Gladiators was trying to set up. They put the Slardar in the bottom lane versus the Alchemist, so he gets this really good advantage of a game.
Yeah, great lane.
Yeah, they slaughter the Bristleback. The first moment he shows up with an Aghanims, he's just a creep.
Which is, you know, that's not what you want to see if you're gaming Gladiators, right? When you put that amount of sort of just early game money onto one hero, dying like that, the game's going to be hard. I mean, to be fair, before that, the game was already getting rough.
It was already.
They were already sort of falling behind, and as I say, you know, they turned up with a strat. They try and do this sort of the Ags for the teammates sort of stuff here with the offlane Alchemist. Yeah, OG, I guess, would you sort of say this is just sort of an idea that might work against other teams, but OG probably not one of them?
I think OG just knew it. They kind of knew that this type of strategy was a potential, and that's why they did the lane steps. They went for a short. It's like, we're giving Bristol a little more farm because we have the Nature's Prophet top, but we now have Amar free farming again. Just like he did in the last game, he was versus this Enigma, and he had this even farm that as soon as he turns up, he's a monster, he's a menace. He's pretty much the carry from the off lane, as we like to say, for Amar. Yeah, just perfect game plan.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. A very dominant game 2 from OG in this best of 3 will get them the victory here overall. This series, it's OG's 2-0 against Gaming Gladiators.
And normally you see that as a bit of a power spike when that happens. At least, you know, it's not been the first time that someone does this, but the power spike for this bristleback wasn't really there because he was still dying to all the minus armor that was put out by OG. And it was a little sad to see their plan just basically not work. That's why we also had a fairly early GG, because they also realized...
Not for me. I kind of like to see Alchemist
You
lose.
do?
You know, those Alchemist abusers. Yeah, for sure.
The free gold, yeah.
Okay. That's how it is.
I like how they set up the lanes for OG, putting this Amar for success one more time, and just the pure itemization coming up from the rest of the OG, being able to like get that minus armor, Slardar plus early rush from Nature's Prophet, Deso, 13-minute Deso. These heroes don't feel as tanky. Also, Zeus bought the 15-minute shard immediately after the Ether Lens. He just zaps through the tankiness of all these heroes. And I like how Taiga played the Zeus overall. Like, he was... This is how... Pay attention if you're watching the game. I'm going to try to break it down for you a little bit, but don't use it to KS unless you're mid-Zeus, then you want some extra gold. But you want to scout things out. So many times he just pops it pre-fight when Amar charges in with the 3 bashes, ready to go in, shows a target, they immediately delete the target. Fight is almost instantly 4 versus 5. Just some good stuff. And Misha's positioning, when he breaks the smoke, that one fight near the mid lane, they land the 3-man coil from BZM. There's some really good stuff.
Yeah, and this was the fight that was scouted out by Taiga, as you said. And then everybody is so fast to react. I loved to see that. It was like instant. Everybody jumped in that Roche pit. And of course, that was the big GG fight.
I know T didn't say a single word, but I'm going to go back and just because I pointed out the itemization, going for the Spirit Vessel on Puck pre-blink, and yeah, just to be able to munch through the tankiness. Back to you, T.
Yeah. I knew it was coming. I knew it.
I knew it. Amar, congratulations on the series. Amar, how you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing very good.
Good to see you. I also see, you know, you're playing a little bit later in the day and the sunlight's helping. We actually have some sunlight coming your way. Good camera angle. I want to ask, this is the first time that we're talking since you won the major. How was it? How was the major experience for you?
I mean, the major experience was actually very fun. I really enjoyed it. And winning it like made it all better. So yeah, I guess it was like very enjoyable, very good experience. Like probably like very insane good days for me.
Insane good days. What do you feel like was the, you know, you have some expectations going into the major. What was the most surprising thing for you at the major that you didn't expect?
Most surprising thing, maybe. I mean, probably maybe us winning the major, because third game against Fnatic, where it was full despair game, and somehow we won it.
It was, I mean, that was a really great game from a viewer perspective. I cannot imagine the stress that you guys were under during that one. Do you feel like you've learned a lot of lessons during the major that you are able to now implement in the games that you're playing in the DPC League?
Yeah, of course. We learned even like we got flamed and everything, and like we definitely learned. Like after this Fnatic game, we all changed. Like entire mentality changed. That's like from 2-1 close game despair into like 2-0 every team. Like it changed from mentality after this game, I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say mentality was great, of course, at the major. You're one of the few offlaners that likes to itemize differently. Obviously, in your Slardar game today, very normal items. But when you do have those games where you decide to buy, you know, the 4 staffs and the weirder items, is that something that you're thinking about before the game, or is it more live in the moment? You're reading the team fights and you're quickly going, all right, I'm going to buy this for the team, guys. Get ready for it.
I mean, I just, I never really think, or like I just randomly buy the item. Like it's like out of nowhere, you know? Like I just feel the item and I just buy it. Like there is no thinking. Okay. I just randomly buy the item and it turns out to be good.
Sure. Does that also work out with your webcam angle during the games? You don't really think about that one. It just kind of, the webcam just appears and you're, that'll do for the game. And now you're just centering it for the interview?
I mean, it drops. I don't know what to do about it. I really need to win the game, not to care about the webcam during the game. I really need to win the game, not look at how people see me.
Maybe invoice OG for some sellotape for next series. You can, you know, duct tape it to the wall or something.
Maybe, who knows?
Okay.
Show my entire room.
What about that MR test that you guys have? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, you mean levels?
Yes.
This level. Yeah, I keep claiming everyone. Oh, you're bronze 3. Why you're picking this hero?
But you can
Why
still,
I'm picking? What?
you can still pick the hero even if you if you don't pass the MR test.
Takes 100 years. I keep saying him, you don't play this hero, you don't play this hero. Why you want to pick it? Pick your hero, and it ends up either he picks it and lose, or we pick another hero and win.
Okay, how are pubs going tomorrow? You satisfied?
How's what?
Pub games?
No, I'm rank 90 dog. I'm very bad.
I don't think that's that bad, but you know, I would expect you to be in top 10. Can you promise that until the next interview?
No, I cannot, because I cannot win. It's so hard.
I was like, going back to the MR test, is that why poor Misha's having to play so many games of Jakiro, Hoodwink, and Marcy in his pubs? Like, his win rate...
Just levels up.
He's playing like 18 games of these heroes in the last like week, all of them. Are you just forcing him to get to just even, you know, a respectable badge?
I'm not forcing anyone. Everyone doing his thing. Like even if he wants to pick his hero, like I cannot do shit about it. Like it's not me who decide for them. You know, like they decide for themselves. They just like just good way to approach and think when you're picking your hero.
That's fair. That's fair.
We spoke to Fishman after they won a series last week, and he said that you are the one that is frequently asking, "Where's the Creep Wave reunion? Is it coming? Will there be a Creep Wave reunion?"
It's not really creep wave reunion. It's creep wave meetings. You know, like
Okay.
we go to creep wave Discord. We go queue together, grief, anything. You know, like just do something.
Just play Dota.
Yeah, like something like this, or just maybe casual talk, or like random things. I guess that's what we do. But maybe creep wave reunion if we all qualify to major. Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, you guys are on the right track already. Of course, with winning the major, definitely helps with that. By the way, quick question: you and BZM are both 17 years old. You are 20 days ish, 18 days, I believe, older than BZM. So born same month, but you know that means that
something like this.
Yeah, that means that BZM is actually the one that holds the record as the youngest player to have ever won a DPC major. Even though, of course, you were both the same age. Does that make you upset?
No, I mean, maybe it's, you know, like I look at Wikipedia a lot, and I check every profile, and I see this on his profile, I don't see it in my profile.
Yeah.
Do you want yours to say second youngest?
What?
Do you want yours to say second youngest? Do you want someone to update it so that you
I
can at
mean,
least
what
be
is
top
second
3?
youngest? You can only say first. What is second youngest?
Is there something that you feel is missing from your Wikipedia page?
Slardar being my third signature hero for some reason.
You don't want it to be that?
No.
So why are you playing it today?
I mean, I need to play a hero. I play what do you want?
The rest is bad. Come on.
I know a guy from Wikipedia. I'll make that happen. We'll remove the Slardar.
Nice. I will have only 2 heroes.
If you're saying you're looking at Wikipedia profiles a lot from your teammates as well, what other trivias, because you apparently already saw the BZM thing, what other trivias should we know about your team that might not be there?
I don't think there is something like, not sure, like maybe change in future.
Okay.
But for now, I don't think there is something I can say.
Okay, well, just know that if you want something changed, normally saying it in an interview does get stuff done, because obviously it's also a community-run page. They can suggest edits, so any edits you want to suggest, you know, you come on an interview, you say, hey, by the way, still want this changed. We're going to focus on the Slardar getting removed from your signature heroes as the first step.
That would be good. I have 2 heroes and Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Congrats.
Bye-bye. He fiends Dota and
He
he
does.
fiends Dota Wikipedia profile pages.
That's great. They're going to do the opposite. They're going to keep Slardar there. Then they're going to add Razor and Vibe to make
No,
it 5
no, no.
heroes. Done.
Oh, but they gotta start winning.
One of the only teams to be in Division 2 but still go to
No, Saturday. Saturday is our day for Dota 2. We got ourselves a nice series to already. I know I'm getting way ahead of myself, but you know, for Division 1, we got ourselves Team Secret playing Entity, and that series is extra spicy because both those teams are obviously not doing too hot. It could very well be a series that might debate who, you know, drops just that extra edge.
And also, it's a Crystalis against his old team.
And that.
They-
It's
they-
also pretty spicy.
It's so poetic. They used to lane together. These three pubs, Crystalis and Fishman, used to duo queue rank the entire time. They, for every version of Creep Wave, they were there together. And now they're on different teams. It's
Yeah.
gonna be emotional.
And one's doing maybe. Well, they're both doing.
One's doing better than the other.
One's doing better than the other. And
how
I
it
feel
is.
like Entity is doing a little bit better than Secret at the moment.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
Yeah, would say so. Definitely a series to keep your eyes out for. It's 3 p.m. that starts on Saturday. Doesn't matter right now because we got more Dota on the horizon. That's right, Dota 2 doesn't stop yet. We are, however, slightly ahead of schedule. You know, the next series starts at 6 p.m. It is going to be Brain versus Nigma Galaxy. I know exactly what happens when I press this button, so I'm going to tell you guys as well, because normally this is a red button and we do something funky in the studio. This button will now prompt something that happened outside.
Oh no!
Straight up in the open air.
In the
Not
past.
even kidding. In the past as well. So, you know, this is definitely one thing that you want to watch.
Найс играешь. Найс играешь.